Video, right? Boom, boom, boom. All right. Jeffrey, turn on your video, unless you're hungover, which, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I should have waited until, like, I should have said it before you started recording. That's not a good way to start the recording. There we go. Jeffrey, a good sport. Ritesh, nice to meet you. Kate Nelson.
3 more coming in.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
We will just give it a few minutes and get started as we let a few more people join.
Eric, multiple Erics, Eric 1 and Eric 2. Everybody connected to their audio. Everybody can hear me? Eric, N, does it sound like I'm yelling at you?
I can hear you.
Okay, that's good.
Crystal clear.
Oh, Jeffrey, I like that. I kind of have a big energy. Do you guys want big energy? You want like college professor energy? I'll let you guys decide.
Big energy.
Big energy.
Bring the big, bring the big.
Oh, I like that. This is going to be a great crowd. Oh my goodness. Thanks so much for throwing a parade for me. That was awful nice. All right. And work that chat pane. Work that chat pane. I got to see the chat pane.
We'll start in just a few minutes, everyone.
Okay. 2 minutes after. Yep. All right. David, Corey, Abby, I know. David, Anna, Betsy, Ritesh, Alyssa, Chloe, Kristen. Turn on your C. Noonan. I know Mike Noonan. I don't know C. Noonan, but maybe I will after this presentation.
Noonan just goes by Noonan.
Really?
Like Madonna.
Wow. That's
Like
impressive.
Madonna.
That's impressive. What's your first name, Noonan?
Colleen,
Colleen. With a Y or double E?
double E.
Okay. It
Who's
can
the
go
Mike
both
Newton
ways.
that you know?
It's not Kristen. Kristen is like a hairball when it comes to trying to spell it, right?
Yeah, you never know. You always got to double check that spelling.
That's true. All right. And Abby, do you see all my links that I sent you in the chat pane or no?
I do.
Okay, good. Because when I touch my ear like this, you have to jump into a and put one of those links.
Oh, okay.
All right. Like, I can delegate that to someone else if that's too much pressure. All right. All right. Aaron
right.
said I could use the big energy. Brent
All
said
right.
it doesn't sound like I'm yelling at you. And like, let's go.
All right, let's rock and roll. So, Brent, are you okay if we get started?
Yeah, I'll just monitor, and I think if there's some stragglers, we'll get them admitted and keep going.
Perfect. Wonderful. Well, thank you everyone for being here. I'm really excited that you're all here today, especially after the parade. And I saw some pictures of downtown, so it's pretty nutty out there. Yay, Bucks. You are at the 414 Inbound Revolution with Dan Tyre. And again, 414 Digital. Obviously, you all are getting the emails or saw the sign up link. If you're not getting the emails, make sure you go on our website, 414digital.org, and sign up as a membership. Again, membership for the rest of this year is completely free. And you know, I actually forgot to introduce myself. I'm Erin Lovezo, president of 414. I am blessed that I work with an amazing board, Brent, Abby, a bunch of the people on this call, Anna, Andrea. Just thank you, everyone. People I haven't even mentioned, they work so hard to bring this content to you, to find amazing speakers like Dan who can come and work with us and teach us, knowing that 414 is really about elevating the Milwaukee community from a digital perspective, educating the Milwaukee community from a digital perspective, and then building the community together and coming together. We just had one of our networking events in person for the first time in a long time. It went very, very well. So thank you for all those that came out and enjoyed drinks and fun and chatter. We'll have another event coming up in September, more details to follow. Again, I cannot stress enough to make sure you're signed up to receive the emails, because as we continue to do events, they will start selling out. And I want to make sure everyone that's on this call is seeing those as they come. So with that said, the comments section, make sure you're adding comments. If you have questions, we'll be monitoring those as well. And we are excited to introduce you to Dan Tyre. He is an executive at HubSpot. He's been with HubSpot for like 14 years, right? A very long time, probably there before HubSpot was there. And he is going to talk to us today about the inbound revolution. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Dan. Thank you for being here, and we're excited to hear from you.
Boom! That was great. Aaron, thanks so much. Abby, Brent, thanks for coordinating it. Welcome to the inbound revolution, the rise of the helpful. It's a very good intro. Usually when I speak live, I have like walk-up music. Brent, do you have any music queued up?
I can whistle.
Okay. Bohemian Rhapsody. Let's try with that. Wow, that's pretty good. Okay. I love it. Okay. And my name is Dan Tyre, and just like Aaron said, a 14-year HubSpot veteran. I'm super excited to be in your Zoom today. Put your name in the chat pane, right? And if you're excited, yes, no, or you got to prove it to me, Tyre, right? If you guys aren't excited, oh my goodness, like this is like the I don't know, the insects that come out on the East Coast once every 25 years or something like that, except for NBA Finals, it's 50 years, right? And oh, there we go. Super excited, says Andrea. All right, I'll bring you up on stage. You can do it. Erica will make up for lost time. I'll be there in September too. All right, that's good, 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 good. All right, you guys want more content or more jokes? I promised Erin I would ask that question. She already answered. Put in the Zoom group chat if you want more content or more jokes, right? Let's see. I know. See that? Both. There we go. Oh my goodness. Those people in Milwaukee. Oh my goodness. They want everything. Oh, and do people in Milwaukee like free gifts? Brent, do people like free gifts?
Oh, yeah.
We want it all. Funny content, Bo. Okay, that's funny. You can write jokes for me. I'll pay you $10 if they're good. Hand coupon over. Okay, this is going to be great. Brent, you got your work cut out for you. We got an active chat pane, which is exactly the way I like it. 34 people on the day of the parade. So nice of you to do that for me, right? And I got to give a shout out. Oh, baby, that was amazing. Oh, my goodness. Who went to the parade? Put in the chat pane if you went to the parade today, right? Isn't it still going on? Is it still going on, or is it like no? Right? Because I'm going to tell everybody, including my wife, that you guys came to hear me speak rather than going to the parade. That's still going on. All right. I feel great now. Worth the 10 grand, right? I'm from Arizona, so it hurts a little bit. But, I was doing a Zoom this morning, and somebody said, you got to pronounce his name. I'm like, Giannis's name? They go, no. Out of respect, you've got to pronounce his full name, which is not easy. Aaron, can you do it? You might be able to do it. Let me try it.
No
Giannis
chance.
Antetokounmpo.
Close.
Rate that on a scale of 1 to 10. Antetokounmpo. No? 7. All right. Wow. You guys in Milwaukee, so nice. Oh my goodness. That's awesome. Right? Yeah. All right. The parade is over. Anybody feel like this? Aaron, is that what you feel? That's the Las Vegas slide I was telling you. Oh my goodness. That's when I pulled everybody on stage, right? Usually when I speak in the afternoon. What time is it in Milwaukee today? Put in the Zoom group chat what time it is in the Milwaukee. Is it noon? Right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so anytime I speak before 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning or after lunch, that's what I put in, 8:10. All right, so there's a story behind it, but I only have 15 minutes, so I'm not going to be able to work through. All right, a gentle reminder to be kind, empathetic, and helpful. Like crazy stuff happening. And I want to remind everybody that we're all human beings, social, we like to congregate. Make sure you follow the changing guidelines for health in your area, mask up, get vaccinated. Right. I'm not sure anything Dan Tyre would say if you're not vaccinated wouldn't get you vaccinated now, other than do it for the kids. Right. Kids can't get vaccinated if they're 12 or under, and they run a risk if you don't get vaccinated. A huge shout out to democracy. Right. Only 8.4% of the world lives in a full democracy, another 41% in what they refer to as a flawed democracy. We don't care who you vote for, just practice your right to vote. And then HubSpot, the company I work for, and Dan Tyre are anti-racist companies and individuals. And we believe in equality and justice. We stand with the Black community, the Asian American community, the Native American community against violence and racism now more than ever. I speak probably 80 times a year. I put that in all my presentations because I think it's important, and I want you to know where I stand. All right, quick poll. Put in the Zoom group chat if you're from sales, marketing, or an exec. Sales, marketing, or exec. But let's put in an other category as well. Sales, marketing, sales and marketing, oh, executive marketing. All right, all over the place. Oh my goodness. All right, this is good, right? We're going to walk through a couple of different things. As you guys have already seen, my tagline is, oh baby, right? I am an investor in a surrogate company called Go Stork. They've adopted my logo of oh baby because surrogacy is growing in the United States, and it's very appropriate. Do you guys know, let's get this bread? Put in the Zoom group chat if you know that, right? If you have to talk to a millennial, let's get this bread. Abby, do you know that one? No? Okay. If you're talking to anybody who's a teenager, just say, let's get this bread. Oh, Kate. Yeah. Kate's like, yeah, that's money. I love it. Money, money, money. It means like, let's go after and get something. Let's do something, right? It's like a shortened version of getting started. And Chugi, who knows Chugi? Any Gen Zs here, right? Alicia knows Chugi, but I'm a millennial. I know. All right. All of these I learned from my 22-year-old daughter, Sally. I'm a Chugi. Oh my goodness. Milwaukee is on the cutting edge of like the Urban Dictionary. All right. So Aaron, this is pretty funny. You're Chugi if a Gen Z person makes fun of you. Right? So like skinny jeans. Yeah. Thank you, TikTok. Boom. I love it. Okay. And so I'm trying to do my best to educate everybody about how to make fun of millennials. Goodness knows they got a lot of stuff going on, but there you go. All right. How about the El Aurora? Anybody know the El Aurora, the taco stand in Austin? Put in the chat pane. You can't wear skinny jeans anymore. No, Andrea, we don't have time to talk about that, but it's true. Right? It's over, right? It's like the fashion passe. All right. But who knows the El Aurora? You got to follow these guys. This comedic gold. It's a taco restaurant in Austin, Texas. I've been there. Alicia. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. This is amazing. Right? I don't know if the tacos are any good, but their signs are great. No. It's different. Right? Look at that. I drink water. And get sun, you're basically a houseplant with more complex emotions, right? Isn't that funny? And the two unwritten rules of life, boom. All right. Well, there's the comedic part of my presentation. Bum, 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 bum. Brent, you want to sing with me? Okay. Do I have to ask? There's a lot of millennials in the audience there. Do I have to ask? Do you know where that comes from? Do you know what this image is? We're not in Philadelphia.
Rocky.
Okay. What is that, Jeffrey? What is Rocky? What does Rocky stand for?
Success.
Ooh,
Overpowering adversity. Getting to the top of the steps with Stallone and celebrating.
All right, that's much better than I had. It's like the Bucks, for crying out loud. Oh my goodness, I love Milwaukee. I speak of Wisconsin probably once a year. Last time I was in Milwaukee, I spoke at the Harley Davidson Museum. Super fun, right? And the presentation today, Welcome to the Inbound Revolution, is the rise of the helpful. Turns out this is one of the seminal pivots in the last 42 years, and we're going to talk to you today about how you can be part of it. All right, so this is me. Abby, if you could put my LinkedIn in the chat pane, please connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm at your service. If there's anything that I can do to help you or your organization grow, I'm happy to do it. As Aaron said, I've been at HubSpot for 14 years. I was the first salesperson for HubSpot, first sales manager, first sales director. I got 5 jobs at HubSpot now. I've done every job at HubSpot other than CEO, and it's been an amazing, amazing process. I've done 5 startups in the last 42 years. My first startup was in 1982. Before most of you guys were born. Put in the Zoom group chat if you were born in 1982 or how old you were in 1982, right? There's some historical perspective to that question anyway. 4, exactly. All right, I know I sound like your grandfather, but when I was working selling computers in Boston, right, my boss came to me and goes, I'm quitting. I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm moving to a startup. I'm like, what's a startup? He goes, a small company is going to grow very quickly. I'm like, okay, knock yourself out. He goes, no, I want to take you with me. I'm like, I got a job. He's like, I'll pay you $1,000 more a year. I'm like, yeah, I'm a startup guy. And over the last 42 years, right, I've done 5 startups. My first one went to $1.5 billion, right? And I was their turnaround expert where I learned a lot about sales, marketing, and business. I know, Ritesh, I know. My second one was my own company. So I don't want you to think I'm an ivory tower executive where like I just order people around, right? My second startup, I was founder and CEO, and grew to $30 million in revenue. It was like a partner agency, like 414, and had 6 locations, 260 employees, and then sold it to a Phoenix-based company. That's how I got to Arizona. My third company went bankrupt, which taught me business planning and humility. My fourth startup got bought out by Microsoft. Lucky me. And my boss at Groove Networks was Brian Halligan. He went to MIT and met Dharmesh. I worked for Microsoft for a year. And when they started HubSpot, they called me. They called me and said, all right, we need you to start at HubSpot, right? And we want you to join the founding team. So today I'm a mentor, an advisor, a board member. I'm a speaker all over the world, although most has been remote. I wrote a book, which I'll tell you about. I'm an angel investor, sales coach. And my mantra is trying to do the most good for the universe. And I'm serious. The reason I want you to connect with me, if I can help you, if I can help you as an individual, as your company, whatever, I'm happy to do it to the best of my experience. All right. These are some of the companies that I've invested in and that I advise. The one I'll feature today is Thimble. And Thimble is a monthly subscription service that teaches kids robotics and coding skills through a hybrid educational self-paced lessons. And Abby, if you could just put that in the chat pane. If you're interested, go to thimble.io or send me an email. Oscar Pedrosa is a teacher. He's a Hispanic American, first-time entrepreneur applying his skills. And I put this slide in because I want to make sure that you understand I'm vested in helping companies grow of all sizes, right? And super exciting to be part of the scale of these type of businesses. All right, put in the Zoom group chat, is it easier or harder to be an entrepreneur in 2021? It's an interesting question, and I want to hear what the people in Milwaukee have to say. Easier or harder to scale a business in 2021? Come on, quick, like bunnies. You got to move quick because we got a lot of stuff we have to cover here today. Easier, says Brent. Ooh, I like that. All right. Anybody feel easier, says Andrea. Okay. All right. Maybe this is going to be a quick conversation. We're all used to remote collaboration. Yeah, that's the next wave. I like that. People are online more and more demand for talent, easier. Okay, you guys are super positive. It's kind of a trick question because it depends. Ooh. Diham, I think I'm pronouncing your name right. Varied, the challenge is different, but not harder. It is definitely different, right? And it depends because just like you said, there's a lot of influences. Number one, there's a lot of noise, a lot of activity. It's hard to tell who's the real deal and who's just doing a side hustle. Number two, your customers are a lot more demanding. Have you noticed that? Put in the chat pane if you've noticed your customers are a lot more demanding. Right? They got a shorter attention span. They're busier. They've got higher expectations, and they want to be understood from the first time you engage. Right? And number three, there's a ton more competition. In the old days, 2014, the average company had 6 competitors. In 2021, actually the last year that I have accurate statistics for, 2019, the average company had 44 competitors. Right? Because there's just so many people who are in startup nation. It's kind of crazy. All right, so there's the old way and the new way. And the old way is to pound it out, right? Is to scale in ways that you added more heads and added more people, right? The new way is to use technology, process, data, and focus to create a great customer experience to win. And we're going to take you through the inbound process so that you understand what it is and why it can help you. And then we're going to give you some specific things that you can do so you can start being inbound, right? Because we know the answer to the story. In 2007, when we started, right, it wasn't clear. In 2021, it's very clear. So inbound in 2007 is very much a different business environment. And like 1982, right, most of you weren't born, but in 2007, I always ask my audiences, right, how did you buy in 2007? Most people say I asked my parents to buy it for me, but it was different back then. Brent will tell you, right, that the way you bought was via a salesperson, and you went into a retail store or you talked to a salesperson, because before you had the internet, right, the way you gathered information, the way you got availability information, the way you engaged is you had to talk to a salesperson. They had all the power. And in fact, for the first 30 years of my business career, that's like what I did. I ran sales organizations and made a great career out of building sales teams that cold called, qualified, and trial closed customers. But 2007 was the birth of what we call the empowered buyer. And they bought differently, right? They buy the way you do now, armed by search engines and subsequently social media. They did much more research before they engaged with the sales team. And they had some rules. The empowered buyer, number one, doesn't want to be sold. They want to be helped. Right? Number two, they don't want a sales pitch. Number three, they want you to show them how to improve their situation, not just try to sell. Number four, they want current design ideas, best practices, technology, and functionality. Then you have to deliver it in a concise fashion, right? You only have 30 seconds. They want you to focus on what makes you special, at what is in your best interest. They want you to share lots of cool information for free. That's why the last 10 minutes, I'll give you free stuff. And then they want to for HubSpot, I was selling inbound marketing, right? I would cold call everyone I'd know, and I would ask them, do you need to generate leads from your website? And inbound marketing still exists today. If you need help with inbound marketing, you talk with Brent or Aaron or Abby, right? When I would tell them, like, have you ever heard of inbound? They'd be like, no, explain it. And I'd say, all right, do you need to generate leads from your website? And the answer was always yes. And I'm like, do you want more? And the answer was always yes. And I'm like, do you want more without having to pay? Google or Facebook wasn't really around in 2007, but they said, yeah. Right. And so inbound in 2007 was optimizing your website so that you could attract people who were searching for your product and services. And it got off to a great start because it was the first time you could generate more business based on the size of your brain and your heart rather than the size of your wallet. In 2007, traditional media like the Yellow Pages. Anybody remember the Yellow Pages? Put that one in the chat. Or billboards at trade shows, TVs, radio ads, they got all the spend. The internet was just getting started for B2B, and inbound offered that opportunity for you to offer lots of free stuff to attract the people. That's why we have the graphic there of the attracting people like a magnet, right? You do your calls to action, your landing pages, your analytics. And from the very beginning, HubSpot was the Sherpa in the inbound revolution. The leader is a broad concept and not exclusively ours, but the founders, Brian Halligan, Dharmesh Shah of HubSpot, were intentional in leading into the philosophy of inbound, right? Which was to help first. And marketers loved it. Back then, it's kind of interesting. Maybe the same now. Marketers were always in the doghouse. The ratio was 1 marketer to 40 salesperson. And marketers bought lists and they spam people and they bombarded the same messages to everyone and got trashed for it because there was no choice. So when you introduce blogging and posting and ideal customers profiles and personas and emailing customer information, creating landing pages, you are helping first. And as it turns out, right? The HubSpot marketing software just makes it super easy. So marketers, mainly in the United States at the time, cheered because they were helping generate leads, leaning into new processes. And by the way, if your website isn't optimized, right? Talk with the folks at 414 and they can help. And the facts backed it up. Right, B2B companies that got 11 times more leads. HubSpot got 3 times the traffic than those that were not blogging. Right, 47% of B2B buyers viewed 3 to 5 pieces of content before they engaged with a salesperson. 78 of B2B buyers used case studies during the past 12 months to research a purchasing decision. And oh, by the way, TikTok is a great example. Video traffic is up 170% in all internet traffic over the last 12 months. All right. So the inbound revolution started with marketing, right? And then it broadened. It hit a little bit of a speed bump in 2014. And marketers did all this great work to create good intention, thought leadership, and awareness. But salespeople didn't evolve quite as quickly. They would call up and people that they got the leads and they would qualify right on the sales call. And it ruins all the goodwill and marketers had earned in the past. So salespeople would be speaking to the prospect right from the start. But guess what? When we asked buyers when they want to connect with sales, 90% said they only they want to do the research themselves and then get a short list of companies. And today, different companies want to engage at different parts in the sales conversation. And it's much more varied, which makes it even more important to understand exactly where your buyer is in this journey. And it turns out historically, we haven't done a particularly good job with an essential part of this process, and that's building trust. And going forward, we have to do a better job of end-to-end, right? Marketers have to create the leads and the lead flow. Then salespeople need to use the inbound process to engage with what we call schmarketing. And put in the Zoom group chat if you understand schmarketing. Yes, schmarketing, no schmarketing. Right? Somebody want to say it? Schmarketing. Erica, come off mute and say schmarketing.
Marketing.
Okay, that's pretty good. I like that. Yeah. It's not smart marketing. It's sales marketing pushed together. I actually invented that term. That's good. Yeah. All right. And so marketing makes sense. And this is what the evolution of the inbound revolution was all about. Number one, when it's successful, everyone knows their roles and responsibilities, right? There's this perfect seamless handoff between a lead and how the salesperson engage. They're all sharing the same vision and message, right? And have seen the opposite tons of time. They accelerate the customer journey, right? Customers have a single universal experience with your brand. Customers feel like they understand their needs. There's less waste. The content actually matters. And when leads don't work out, they remarket to them later. They ask the right questions at the right time, and marketing supports sales. Sales informs marketing. So it works very, very well together. This created the inbound sales methodology. And the transition took a little bit more time. Like in the early stages, 2007, marketers just naturally addressed it, but salespeople a little bit more stubborn. Turns out it's even more impactful. I had always thought, because in the early days of HubSpot, I did cold call. Don't tell anybody, but I would call like anybody, and I would use the same playbook and explain, right? But when I started getting inbound leads, it was different because people had already established an intent. They dropped their contact information on our website, and I'd be like, yeah, this is Dan from HubSpot. And they're like, oh, yeah, I know HubSpot. I was on your website last Tuesday. And that changed everything, right, in regard to the engagement, right? Today, salespeople have much different roles. Right? Today, salespeople need to be consultants. I just saw a stat this week that 1 million sales jobs are going to go away. Much of that is going to move over to marketing, because now marketing is important, all right, to generate those leads and customers. And so what we found is that customers are looking for an efficient sales process. Customers want to make sure that you know who they are, you listen and respond quickly, you guide them through a seamless customer experience without being pushy. So that requires new skills like curiosity and smarts, behavior modification, active listenings, but also a good technology. And to deliver inbound in 2014, both sales and marketing need to really work together, right? If you can continue to build trust, right? If you trick out your website, so you're building trust by offering free information, checklists, calls to action, the whole process, it turns out that the smallest inconsistency or break in the buyer experience turn buyers away from the product and service. And marketing works. Inbound is an approach to marketing and sales that focuses on attracting the right kind of buyers through not just content, but also human interactions that are relevant and helpful. All right, so the inbound revolution continued to include the community. And put in the Zoom group chat if you're familiar with the HubSpot flywheel, right? Yes, flywheel, no flywheel, right? You're either, if you're familiar with it, you're either an inbound person. Okay, Andrea, I'm going to explain. Okay, usually people familiar with it are car folks, right? They're auto people, because a flywheel drives the pistons, right, in your internal combustion engine, or they're potters. Or they've seen the movie Ghost. Anybody familiar with the movie Ghost with Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze? Ooh, look at all these Patrick Swayze fans. He's dead in the movie. He's actually dead in real life. I probably should be a little bit more respectful, but I think that's why they call the movie Ghost, right? Anyway, she uses a flywheel, right? And a flywheel relies on just two things. It's force and friction. And it corresponds to the customer experience, right? This is one of the most important concepts of the current inbound revolution. It turns out business growth is linked to customer success. In the old days, when we first started, right, we didn't really have retention metrics, and we would sell to anybody, right? And we learned our lesson very, very quickly, right? That customer retention was much more important than customer acquisition. And today, right, you can't have a company won't survive if you continue to burn through customers. You've got to make sure that all the customers are happy, right? And successful companies, customers are happy customers, and happy customers will advocate for your company. HubSpot research found that growing businesses are 21% more likely to say their customers' success is very important than stagnating or declining companies. And as I'm thinking about this, do you guys in Milwaukee, do you put in the Zoom group chat if you like customer referrals? Yes, referrals, no referrals, right? Dagan says, yes, Azieki, yes, refer. Erica, in all caps, right? Why do you like referrals, right? Everybody likes referrals. It's a rhetorical question. I know, Alicia, it's amazing, right? Everybody likes referrals, right? The flywheel, Anna, is like with multiple E's. Love the warm lead. Yeah. It's because number one, they move quickly through the sales funnel. Number two, they're less price sensitive. Number three, they're accelerated buying. If Aaron says, no, just go to Brent, right? Those guys over at 414, they know what they're doing. That means I have to do less research. I just go to Brent and I go, Aaron told me that I should talk with you. I want exactly what she has. She's super happy, right? And it's now the way it works. In the old days, you hired salespeople to bring on new customers. Today, you get a customer success manager and make sure you have happy customers, right? 3 things to get that flywheel running. Number one, you need testimonials on your website. Put in the Zoom group chat if you have testimonials on your website from good fit customers, right? In the old days, right, we didn't give testimonials. Oh yeah, okay, all right. Good in Milwaukee, great. And they should be prominently featured. And tell your salespeople, lead with testimonials. In the old days, we gave like references to potential buyers way in the back of the sales process. Now I'd be like, Brent, you're early in this process. Why don't I connect you with somebody else in Milwaukee who's recently gone through this purchasing process, and you can ask her questions about what was going on. And it makes it very, very helpful. C2 has them, Talmer is earning them. Awesome. So you want to make sure lots of testimonials on your website, and you're teaching your salespeople to use them earlier in the process. Number 2, you want to use NPS. Who knows NPS? Net Promoter Score. Put in the Zoom group chat. Aaron, you want to explain what it is? Right? I'm calling you out. I saw that hand out there. Explain what it is.
It's how you gauge, and it's a very old metric on how you gauge overall satisfaction.
That's awesome. Yes, I didn't tell you I was going to ask a question, so thanks for answering it on the fly. NPS, Net Promoter Score. I ask all these entrepreneurs. I say, do you have happy customers? Unequivocally, it's like, do you need more leads? They all say yes. I'm like, how do you know? How happy are they? Where's the data and the facts? And an NPS is 2 or 3 question survey. Right? Don't send out a 15-question survey. Oh my goodness. Any of you that are over 30 remember how the car rental services used to ask you 450 questions until you got so frustrated that you couldn't even breathe. 2 questions. That's all I have time with. Number 1, how satisfied are you with our product or service? Number 2, how would you recommend us to another company? Would you be a referral for us? And then anything else that they want to add. And that NPS, you take the 8, 9s, and 10s, the 6 through and 7s you throw out, and you subtract your detractors, the 1 through 5s, right? And you come up with a score, right? Which is a tangible way of understanding how happy your customers are, right? Your existing customers, your new customers, the cohort. I don't have a link to it, but just Google HubSpot NPS. Right. And you can see our blog article, an explanation of why NPS is so important and how you actually do it. That NPS is super important for ensuring that the people you're talking to are indicative of the type of customers that you have. right? I'm awesome. I am someone who loves filling out those questionnaires. Okay. Andrea, but you won't fill out more than 17 questions, will you? Because if you will, I'll have to buy you a breakfast sandwich. That's above and beyond. You just have time for 3 questions. Come on, it's 2021. Oh my goodness. Erica, you too. Okay, it's exactly what I thought from Wisconsin people. You're just so nice. Okay, the third thing to get your flywheel running is to actually pick up the phone and thank people, right? And put in the Zoom group chat the last time somebody called you and thanked you for your business. This is kind of an interesting kind of thing. I have a lot to say normally. When the last time somebody called you and said, thank you for the business? Brent says 1987. I know. In 2019, I dropped $300 at a restaurant. And a long time ago. I know, Erica, that's why I'm here, to bring value to the people of Wisconsin. About 2 weeks ago, oh my goodness, condos in Glendale area. That's great. Dagham, that's awesome. Okay, Lane's Barbecue included a handwritten note. Okay, Andrea, will you go back to Lane's Barbecue because they wrote you a handwritten note? How did that make you feel that they sent you that? I know, 100%. Yes, amazing, right? So twice a year, right? You put in your calendar, everybody, all the way up to the CEO, right? And you set aside 45 minutes and you call somebody, right? You say, Brent, this is Dan from HubSpot, or else you could flip it around. This is Dan, this is Brent from 414 Digital, and I'm calling to thank you for your business. Oh my goodness. They're like, what? What are you talking about? Right? I leave a voicemail. I call 4 times to get across to them. I'm like, we've been a partner for 6 years. I want to make sure that you're always happy. I want to make sure if you have any questions, you text me, right? And I want to make sure that we have a great relationship. And if we don't, you just let me know, right? Okay, Brent did just thank me for attending. That's nice. Okay, but it's not good enough. You have to call and you have to thank them, right? A solitary motion, that's different, right? In the flow of the engagement, it's one thing, but taking time out of your day to be able to do that, it's awesome. All right, I'll always go back to that restaurant in Cambridge, right? It's the cheapest man in North America. $300 is like a lot of money to me. And I want to make sure that he knows, like, he made an impression. I'll call you a survey question tonight. I love it. Okay, very, very good. All right, this leads to superior customer engagement. And the customer experience is your ultimate competitive advantage. The inbound revolution means being a human being. And it means that in the age of product parity, right, virtually all of the products are the same. It used to be that you had to spend a lot of time determining if the product worked, right? Has anybody bought a product that didn't functionally work, right, in the last 5 years? Of course they work. They'd be out of business if it didn't work. Your expectation is it'll work. And if it doesn't, you'll just set it back, right? The 2 things that truly matter to prospects is the customer experience and that community, right? And community becomes more and more important. That's your tribe of people who are all trying to solve the same things, getting their problems solved with other like-minded people to grow better. Small successes, moments of delight, way that you can help make the buyer's life easier with your product or service so that it helps that build trust. And when we ask buyers what makes an exceptional experience, right, there's a huge disconnect between what companies and what buyers think about an exceptional experience. 69% said just listen to what I'm saying, which is amazing. It has nothing to do with the product, has nothing to do with anything other than just listening, right? And in like 2021, it's inexcusable not to listen. 61% said, I really want to share relevant information. In other words, I don't want to hear about your product, your value. I want to hear about the things that I'm concerned with. 51% said, I want you to respond in a timely fashion. And put in the Zoom group chat what you think a timely fashion is in 2021. How much time do you have to get back to somebody when they ask a question, either in your chat or via email, right? Or in your Zoom chat? 24 hours or less, depends on email versus phone, 20 minutes or less, a few hours. Yep, it's evolved. It's 5 minutes, right? The studies now say, I know, it used to be 2 or 3 hours. Right now, if you respond within 5 minutes, your ability to close the deal goes up by 800%. And I can prove it, right? That's why having technology that has lead notifications is the only way to go. I know, Erica, I know. And I could be researching for 6 months. I could love what's on the 414 website. I can see all this great information, right? But then when I fill out a form, if Brett doesn't call me in 5 minutes, right, I'm moving on, right? That's just the way it works. Very, very good. It's the only, that's why technology really builds into a competitive advantage. The customer experience, 49% says, I want a range of options. Help me understand all the ways I could tackle the challenge in front of me. That means the salesperson is not talking about just product features, but really being a consultant, and show options and let the prospect decide. Always thought this was fascinating because it costs you zero to deliver any of those services. The other thing is 72% of happy customers tell at least 6 people about a good customer experience they had with the brand, right? And so that's why we call it the flywheel. The customers that you have and your ability to gently nurture them to be an advocate for your company leads to what we call delight. And it's a flywheel, right? There is, it turns around, and you have force in your flywheel. That is the good stuff that you do. And then you have friction, which is the bad stuff that you do, right? I sometimes ask CEOs of companies that I'm working with, let's find out how easy it is to talk to a salesperson. Let's pick up the phone and call your front desk. And has anybody ever done that? Put in the Zoom group chat if you ever call your front desk, right? They look at me like, oh my goodness. Oh yeah, good. All right, Aaron, Erica, I am awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All of that stuff, very, very helpful, because if it's not easy to get to people, right? If you have to go through a phone tree, which is so 1982, if you can't get your questions answered, if you don't have a chatbot on your screen, all right, you're not playing into the inbound revolution. All right, so now there's something called RevOps, and put in the Zoom group chat if you understand RevOps. Yes, RevOps, no RevOps, right? I had never heard of it before August of 2020. And it's an important concept for scaling businesses. I know I heard it 3 times in working as an executive sponsor for HubSpot direct sales team in Silicon Valley. And people are saying, you know what I need? I pay 12 invoices for sales and marketing technology. What I need is to consolidate in one tech stack. I want it easy to use. Right? And 82% of business owners say they waste an hour a day on managing multiple applications, aligning sales, marketing, and customer service. And traditionally, as companies scale, each division within a company has its own operating team. They all have their own reporting functions. So sales operations owns the sales systems, marketing operations do all the marketing stuff. And RevOps is a mindset, it's a practice, it's a manifestation of unifying your internal operations. With this new approach, your business runs friction-free. So does your customer experience, avoiding competing systems, directions, objectives, and providing alignment, right? Enterprise value alignment, not department or a team alignment, for common framework, metrics, and other things. This coordination becomes challenging when operations aren't tightly around. So think schmarketing on a macro scale, including customer service, including operations, including all of the components of your business. So RevOps will help you increase revenue and prevent data priorities and support data priorities and alignment. It's a centralized function that aims to maximize potential revenue by coordinating all the systems. It leads, you'll know if you need a RevOps function if you think leads are falling through the clouds. Through the cracks, or you have misaligned marketing and sales departments, or misaligned company department goals, right? Does anybody on this call have issues with data integrity in their systems, where they have duplicates or they don't have the right formatting for any of that? RevOps will help align that, right? And Brent and Aaron can help you with your RevOps if you'd like. All right. So here, let me just go there. Boom. To determine your, Abby, you got to help me out. This is one of the links I send you. How aligned you need to be. You can run the HubSpot Growth Grader, right? And HubSpot Growth Grader talks about the ways that you can quickly implement, right, specific systems so that you can scale better. It's free. It takes about 15 minutes. My recommendation is you get somebody from 414 to help you fill it out for you. You don't have to. Has anybody gone through the Growth Grader before? It is awesome way to highlight some of the potholes that you may run into and identify strengths and weaknesses as you move forward. All right, very, very good. So what we found is inbound wins in 2021. Inbound is the growth of inbound is an established sales and marketing discipline with better customer experience and for the folks who practice it. We see it at HubSpot's partners and customers. When I first started in 2007, we had 30 customers. Now we have 110,000 customers, thousands of partners, right? And 120 companies globally. When people say, well, what is inbound in 2021? We say it's a holistic, data-driven approach to take total strangers and bring it to make them long-term customers. It's a customer-centric approach that mirrors the way a modern buyer buys. It's a way to start a relationship way before someone buys. Transformational technology that is measurable, works, predictable, scalable, and we can prove it. And why does it work? Why does inbound work in 2021? Number one, it's respectful of the way people want to buy. Number two, it helps people solve their problems. Number three, it's process oriented. Number four, it's adjustable. And then it scales the way you scale. All right, so you ready to take the plunge? Right, 3 steps to starting an inbound philosophy. Number one, fill out that growth grader that Abby put in the chat page. That is a good first start. We'll give you tangible ways to support. Number two, put in the Zoom group chat if you are familiar with the ideal customer profile. In 2021, it's a little bit different, right? Even in 2014, right, you could be a generalist. Today, the riches are in the niches. Or if anybody's in Europe, if you want to go to the beaches, you have to work the niches, right? And like it's important. Oh, very nice. I know that could be your big takeaway there, Erica, right? Ideal customer profiles, right, will help you actually grow better because there's so many competitors. If you say, no, I work with companies in Milwaukee, manufacturing companies in Milwaukee that have at least 30 employees, $8 million in revenue, want to grow 25% this year. Does that sound like you? You're defining a niche that's where you do your best work. That is where you align and have experience with the vocabulary, seasonality, and execution. Right. And that's the way you get more customers, right? As long as there's at least 200 prospects in those niches, right, then you can, in most cases, grow a very effective program by concentrating on where you do your best work. Right. And then the final thing is make sure you have that sales and marketing alignment. Make sure that your sales team is working with your marketing team to get it moving. All right. So the revolution is still here and still going on, right? People say, why do you call it a revolution, Tyre? Is it that just you? And I do it for a couple of reasons. It started small with a group of people who really believed in it, right? It grew to a global movement. It's backed by data and facts, right? And results, right? And the people, the good people at 414 can show you all the things that they have done as well. It continues to scale. It continues to have broadening appeal. In the next 15 years, people say, okay, I'm going to move to this inbound stuff. If you ever want to generate leads through the internet without having to pay Google or Facebook or YouTube, right? Inbound is the process, right? And super excited to offer to the folks in Milwaukee the ways that we're going to do that. All right. Put your biggest takeaway in the chat pane. Ooh, Erica, give me a super. Your biggest takeaway so far, right? Your biggest takeaway. I got 5 more minutes where I'm going to give you some free stuff. Brent, what's your biggest takeaway? I thought you were going to say, don't schedule a webinar the day of a parade.
Yeah, that's probably a good one.
I need to invest some energy in inbound. Okay, Erica, now I want to cry. Right? That's awesome. People like to do research themselves. It's huge. That's what you do, David. Whenever I get people who say, I don't think that's the way doctors buy. I'm like, well, how do you do it? And then I go over and Google children's pediatrician, Arizona, and a million things come up in a half a second. All right. Aaron says 5 minutes to respond. Yep. If you need that. What's the next thing for HubSpot? We tried the CMS with a client. It was all great product experience for all. Yeah, that's a good one, right? Lots of changes. Lots of people want a CRM connected directly to their website to meet that 15-minute window, right? So when somebody fills out a form and drops right into the from the CMS into the CRM, that's a huge competitive advantage. AB says, don't sell, make it easy for people to buy, give them everything that they need to buy. All right, those are all good takeaways. You guys were paying attention. All right, let's rate this session, scale of 1 to 10. Let's rate this. Oh, wait a second. It's probably in my best interest to give the free stuff away before I rate it. Don't you think, Aaron? It's okay. Can I curry some favor from the people who stepped away from the parade?
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. All right, so this is very interesting. Abby, drop this in the chat pane. This is HubSpot industry data, right? We've been collecting this now in aggregate. We never go in and look at the information in your actual portal, but we like to support and pass information to you by company, region, size, and process so that you can benchmark your best practices against what other people are saying. And it goes all the way back to March of 2020. It will continue in throughout because it's a great way of matching what you're getting with the results that other companies are finding. And then the reason why I tout all these statistics, it's not me doing all the research. This is HubSpot research, the ultimate list of marketing statistics for 2021. It's pretty cool. Content marketing statistics, social media statistics, video marketing statistics, email marketing statistics, lead generation, all of this kind of stuff. And very, very helpful. So Abby, if you could put this one in as well, right? Especially the marketers or the salespeople, if you're trying to get more budget and you need to showcase how impactful this kind of process is, just let us know. And this is the way it works. And then any podcast people here, put in the Zoom group chat if you're a podcast person. Yes, podcast, no podcast. I think people in Milwaukee listen to I know. We launched this podcast network. I happen to think that people up in Wisconsin, that you listen to podcasts while you're shoveling snow. I'm not exactly sure about that, but that's my inclination. I know. And so Abby, do the honors, please. Post it in the chat pane. And there's just a wealth of information here on leadership, marketing, sales, operations, startups, super fun. And yeah, when you're driving, that's what they do in California when they have a 90-minute commute, right? Or walking the dog. That's when I listen to my podcast. And HubSpot's trying to make it easy for you. All right, in 2019, I wrote a book called The Inbound Organization. You can go either to Amazon or www.inboundorganization.com, just like we talked about today. If you go there, you'll see tons of free stuff. Right? We want to educate you. I wrote this with Todd Hockenberry, who is straight up guy and been involved in the inbound revolution for 10 years. If you don't quite understand, you need to dig in more. There's also the audiobook. I'm on the audiobook, which is kind of fun. Thrill of a lifetime to record in Times Square, right next to Jay-Z in the next recording room. Now, that's not true, but I felt like it anyway. And talks about ways that you can lean into an inbound organization for fun. HubSpot, the company I work for the last 14 years, an amazing company, right? We believe in helping and providing products that help you grow better, right? HubSpot's CRM is free, and it's the #1 CRM for scaling companies globally, right? The best reviews, growing in market share, linked all together, and super exciting. I always offer this to entrepreneurs as well. If you're interested, Abby, just put this in the chat pane, please. HubSpot invented something called the culture code. And our chief people officer, Katie Burke, says culture is a set of shared beliefs, values, and practices, super important for companies of all size. And we really have two products. One is our actual technology products and services and education for our customers, and our culture is for our employees. So I always offer that because it's a good part of the inbound revolution is to make sure you have your own culture code defining what you're looking for. All right, now rate this session, right? Ooh, is that at 11? Oh, yes. Okay, baby. See what happens? Brent gave it 11, 9.5. If there are no jokes after this, 10 if there are. All right, I got plenty of jokes. I could go all day. What do you call a snarky inmate walking downstairs? A condescending condescending. I know. Aaron, look at the Aaron left. That goes to 11. Oh my goodness. You could use all my best material. I got it from 11-year-old on Tumblr. I know Erica's there. All right. Very, very good. All right. So HubSpot is serious about supporting our partners and our customers and everybody in humanity. We want you to grow better, right? That's our tagline. And if you have any questions, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. You go to my website. You can send me an email. You can call me if you ever want to call somebody from Arizona, and I'm at your service. All right, Aaron, Brent, Abby, thanks so much for booking me for this time. This was a blast, right? And hopefully we were able to explain a little bit about inbound, why it's important, the value it is for helping a company scale, right? And we're at your service for anything that we can do to help.
Well, we really appreciate it. So thank you for being with us today. The energy, not only from you was amazing, but from the chat and the people talking, it was wonderful. If anyone on this call wants to connect with Dan, it sounds like he's more than willing to connect. And again, sign up for our emails, make sure you're on the email list. If you want to get involved with 414, if you're not sure what to do or how to do it, reach out to myself, Brent, anybody that's on the board. You can see the board list on our website as well. We are here to help and serve our Milwaukee digital community. Again, can't thank you, Dan, enough for being here. And Brent, anything else? Anything I missed?
I think that is it. I'm going to post the membership link in chat here if you guys want to become a member. If you aren't already, I assume most of you are on our mailing list now because you registered for the event. Our next event is coming up in September, so watch for some communication about that in the coming weeks and months. And I think that's about it.
Wonderful. All right, guys, 1 minute to spare. Thank you all for joining us and have a great rest of your day.
Boom!
Thank you, Dan. That was fantastic. Truly.
All right, you still recording?
I am about